Last week, I was able to get away a little bit. We stayed in New York State. We didn't have to worry about quarantine issues. Went up to the Adirondacks and stayed in an Airbnb and did some downhill. I did some cross country skiing as well. And while I enjoy being at services, I have to admit that the lazy Shabbat morning last week was a little bit of a respite for me. I got to savor my coffee and enjoy studying the Haftorah portion about Samuel and King Saul. My studies brought me back to my junior year of college when I studied at Hebrew University. My favorite class back then was when we studied the book of Samuel with in-depth analysis. As artful literature, the Bible speaks to the timeless heart, soul, mind. Last week's Haftarah opens with God commanding Saul and the Israelite army to destroy the people of Amalek and their animals. Saul spares King Agag and the best of the animals. God gets angry and sends Samuel to rebuke Saul. You may look small to yourself, but you are the head of the tribes of Israel, Samuel says. The Lord anointed you king over Israel and sent you on a mission. Why did you disobey the Lord and swoop down on the spoil in defiance of God's will? Samuel asks. Saul protests, but I did obey the Lord. Samuel responds, does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much in the obedience of the Lord's command? Saul then changes his tune. I did wrong to transgress the Lord's command and your instructions, but I was afraid of the troops and I yielded to them. Please forgive my offense and come back to me, and I will bow low to the Lord. Saul never accepts full responsibility. He blames it on his fear of the troops. They wanted the booty and were protesting against what is called the cherem, the religious ban where everything has to be destroyed. Saul fails at leadership in several areas. Good leaders strive to finish the task as much as possible and acknowledge when they cannot. Leaders need to accept their failures and even take responsibility for the failures of those under their command. And a good leader needs to be confident in their decisions and not give in to undue pressure. We learn from Saul's failure that leaders need honesty, humility, and courage. In contrast, these are traits that Moses himself possesses. Another piece of Torah trivia, if you read Parshat Tetzaveh from the beginning to the end, you will notice that Moses' name does not appear even once. Why is Moses' name missing from the Parsha? Once the altar was where God and Israel were to meet. During the golden calf incident, which we'll read next week, Moses is an excellent leader in spite of and because of his enraged breaking of the tablets when he sees the golden calf. Even before he sees the calf, Moses hears about it and pleads to God immediately not to destroy the Jewish people. When he sees the calf, he himself is enraged and breaks the tablets. Yet he recovers and again pleads to God for forgiveness, putting his own position as a leader and prophet on the line. Now, if you forgive their sin, well and good. But if not, God, erase me from the book which you have written. The rabbis understand it. Moses is begging to God to forgive Israel. Otherwise, God should erase Moses from the Torah and remove Moses from the entire enterprise of creating a nation chosen by God. God is convinced by Moses' conviction, gives Israel, but removes Moses' name, according to the rabbis, from these few chapters as a reminder of this passage. Now that we are a year into the pandemic, many mistakes upon the part of our leaders have emerged. The best leaders, though, do not cover up the mistakes. Instead, they acknowledge them and do their best to improve and learn from them. As Megillat Esther teaches us, we can all become leaders. We are all leaders in the sense that we have humility, courage, and wisdom and love. And these are all traits that we are best to hone and improve upon. As we know, more of life's wisdom comes from outside the classroom. That was truly the case during my 5 months in Israel in 1998. An experience of navigating life in a foreign country without parents helped launch me as an adult. Here to lifelong learning and to self-improvement, to looking to our leaders to accept responsibility, to lead us, but really looking to all of us to be our own leaders when we are called, just as Esther and Mordechai did in the story of Purim. And let us Shabbat Shalom.